What's going on, guys? Out here again with Titan out in the garage. Today we're going to be doing a maintenance item that kind of sounds scary, but it really isn't. It's pretty easy. We're going to be installing a Barnett's performance clutch, and we're going to try to get all the power out of the beast. Alright, so if you've been following the channel, you know that I picked up Titan. It's my 04 Honda VTX1800. I picked her up like maybe 2 years ago. It was a barn find. Had a lot of molded out rubber parts and stuff like that that were really all hard and crumbly. So I've been changing all of those things and updating it. One of the things that I noticed while I was riding it is the clutch is like slipping into like third and fourth especially, and that's really when I'm romping on it. So I wanted to change that and make sure that the clutch is gripping. It's a common thing with this bike that the clutch that it comes with just really doesn't hold the power that it really has. Especially I have the tuner on it after the pipes, which doesn't make a crazy amount of horsepower, but still, I want to get like every little bit that I possibly can, and I don't want anything slipping. So, like I said, it's not a complicated thing, and this really is like for 90% of motorcycles out there, maybe more than that. But it's right through the side here. There's 5mm bolts that hold this cover on here. Then you're going to be taking this side off. It's really not that intimidating once you get into it. I'm going to show you the plates and everything and how they go in. It's pretty simple, but the first thing we got to do to make things a lot easier is get the exhaust out of the way. And as you know, we're getting to this horrible exhaust too, so stay tuned for that video. All right, so with the exhaust out of the way now, you have a lot of room down here to get to everything that you're going to need to get to. First thing is to get these covers off here, the chrome covers. These are all the same size bolts, so you don't have to worry about putting them back in the exact order and all that. Look out now, man. Break free of your evil ways. Come on. Every other time it's easy. You turn the camera on and now it doesn't want to let go. You're embarrassing me out here. So once you get to this level, you are going to be removing the side of the engine case here. That's going to expose basically the inside of the engine where the oil is at. This is a wet clutch setup. So when you take this out, I'm not draining the oil on this one. You don't really have to drain the oil when you're doing this. So because I have it right on the kickstand, it's on a lean. So when I take this off, theoretically, there should be just enough right at the lip here where it's not going to be overflowing. Maybe a little bit may come out, but for the most part, it should stay in there. I'm going to put something under there just in case, but it should be able to hold most of the oil in there. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I want to put like about 300 miles or so on this new clutch and just kind of flush, whatever is on that or whatever comes off of it too. And that way, I'll be fresh for the year after that. So I'm just going to remove these bolts here, which are 8mm all the way around here. All right, so I got the clutch kit here. As you see, it comes with all the the friction plates and the metallic plates. It's always a good idea to soak these first. I'm going to be soaking these for a good minute, at least 12 hours before I start off onto this. It's not absolutely necessary if you're going into a bike that you're going to be running, but I may not ride the bike for another few weeks, so I want to make sure that they're soaked up real good. And what makes this a performance clutch is it's better material, more grippy material, and the springs are a little bit bigger than the OEM, so they're going to be squeezing down tighter and they're going to really be grabbing all that power for me. All right, I got all the bolts out. And it's a good idea to kind of make a little pattern. It doesn't have to be huge, but I made a little pattern of where all the bolts came from. I thought that it was initially just these 4 bolts that were the long ones, but if you notice, there's one out here. The bottom one of the right circle is slightly longer too. So, anyways, it's a good idea to make one of these just so you don't have to worry about it, and they're all in one spot, especially if it's a new bike to you. Anyways, moving on, I need to pop this off here, and the best way to do it is just to take, oh no. All right, so we just need to pop this off now. It's probably going to be stuck a little bit. There's a couple points, one little here and then one over here where you can just pop in and try to pry it free, because it's, oh. All after a couple whacks, I went from the other side and caught on this little lip right here. Smacked it a few times, and so I'll take this. As you see, I got my little homemade protector here and a oil pan here because a little bit may come out. So let's see what it looks like. Come on. Still doesn't want to give up. All right. All right. So we got a little drippage, but the inside looks really good. And let me get this out of the way. Now with that off, as you can see, the oil just barely comes out. You lose a little bit, but I got a little cord I'll add to it. I just want to run this new clutch with you know, the old oil and then change it out. So I was going to show you my awesome little tool that's like hooked. I had a little tiny hook thing, but I have ADD, so I lost it. But anyways, I'm just going to use a screwdriver. I can demonstrate that it can be done with simple tools. You just need something to fish these things out, that's all. But it gets really frustrating. There may be a few more curse words involved, but don't worry, that is normal. All right, so I'm just going to undo these here. Oh. I'm doing a crisscross pattern for no reason at all. All right, so with these all out of here, just twist these out. I just want to show you real quick too why the Barnett is an upgrade to your OEM. It's because it's just a regular flattened out spring, and as you can see, the Barrett's is a little bit bigger. I don't know if you could see that, but yeah, it's a little bit bigger. All right, with everything out, this should just pop out of here. And one thing you want to take note of before you get too deep into this is what is the last plate that it ends with, and that's going to be a friction plate. Wow, that looks pretty good actually. Yeah, looking good in there actually. But the other thing you want to keep track of is what is the last one that comes out of here, because obviously that'd be your, you know, the first one you start with. Either way, I think the last one is more important. I would hate to get to the final one here and then have to go all the way back. You know, you're on the wrong one at the end. So, all right, let's just pop these off of here. So that's a friction plate, which, yeah, it's a little dark, and then a steel plate. The kit has steel plates as well, as you've seen, so I don't need any of this coming out of here. So just steel plate. Now I need something poking there. So the last one was a friction plate. Let's get greasy. All right, got the hard part done. That's pretty much it. From here, what you want to do is just make sure these edges here are nice and cleaned off with any kind of residue. These look pretty clean, but any kind of residue, like maybe if there is, take like a little razor blade or whatever and kind of smooth it over. I see some of the gasket seal here that's squeezed out. Yeah, so you just want to look for these little things hide on there. So you just run your finger across it and make sure it's clean. All right, I got the bolts back on there, torqued them down to 9 foot-pounds, and now I'm just going to clean up the edges here so I can put the gasket, and I'm going to clean up the cover as well. All right, I got everything in here. Put this in here to kind of stop some of the oil from dripping, but I rubbed some gasket all over the edge here. Oops, got some on there. That's not cool. Everything's in there, tightened up, and now put back the cover. All right, I got all the bolts in here. Now all I got to do is just torque them down to 19 foot-pounds. All right, with everything torqued down and nothing left to do but put the chrome plates on. Well guys, that's pretty much it for the clutch, man. Like, I know you were probably expecting something scary, but no, it's just that simple, man. And like I said, this is probably for like 90% of bikes, you know, wet clutch. It's going to be right on the high side too, so it's easy to get to, and as long as you just follow your torque specs and all that, get it put back together and everything. And I got mine in there, and I'm hoping to rip out a few more horses out of here, and or at least get some better response to the gear changes. They were pretty slow and slippy, so hopefully this did the trick. We still got some more to go. As you see, I got some other maintenance items that I got to get done. I noticed that my fluid is completely dry, and I'm not exactly sure why, but it could be a busted hose. It could be that I was just running this thing without fluid in it for some time. I'm going to be getting at that, and of course we got to get the exhaust back on, but there's no way I'm putting that old nasty exhaust back on, so stay tuned. Next video is going to be me getting that on, and I'll show you exactly what I got and all that for it, and why I think it's going to be a better fit. So anyways, guys, if you have to do your clutch, man, get under there and do it yourself. It's not that hard. It's pretty simple on the VTX1800, and it's probably the same way with most other bikes. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully it's helpful for you, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.